Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. Sunday morning, bright and early. Don't usually do my match reactions till Monday, but I had to come in the studio early, so I thought, you know what, I'll get it out of the way. Early kickoff yesterday, Manchester City 2, Newcastle 0. Big win for us. Keeping that momentum going that we've been talking about all season. Was finally good to have a home game after the aways that we've been on the last 3 or 4 weeks. You know what I mean? It's been a bit of a mad one. It was a bit early. It was fresh. But, yeah, we got the job done. I mean, we got to the stadium early. The teams were announced. I don't think there was any great surprises. I think Phil Foden had to keep his place. Last few games, he's been playing really well. Gundogan came in with De Bruyne and Rodri in the middle. The back four, Kyle Walker, Ruben, Akanji and Ake. The front three, Erling, Grealish and Foden. Rodri, Gundogan and De Bruyne in the middle. So there's nothing really spectacular about the lineup. The Newcastle team, they were on the back of a cup final defeat. So, you know, it's dangerous to play them after that because, you know, they want a reaction. The fans want a reaction. It was just one of them games where I thought Newcastle can be tricky. They're a good side this season. You know, we found it very hard at St. James's Park. We just make sure we don't undo the good work we've been doing and drop any points. The game started well. City had a lot of the ball. I felt like Newcastle were huffing and puffing. Phil Foden again, you know what I mean? Didn't do much before his goal. A lot of the play was down the left-hand side. And then he gets the ball, he picks the ball up, he drives into the penalty box. I mean, Dan Burn, he's a good defender. But if anyone drives at him and twists and turns quick, he's not the quickest. And like you say, Phil saw the gap. He went for it. He got into the box. Nobody could touch him. If they touched him, he's going down. It's a pen. You know, he got a deflection and scored. But I think he'd have knocked it past Pope anyway. It was a fantastic goal, you know what I mean? And Phil Foden at the minute, he's absolutely on fire. And early in the season when people were doubting him, saying he had off-the-field problems and all the rumours come out about him having little fallouts with the manager and fighting with people and he's on the piss and all that. You know, we get all that in football. We've had that for years with players that are off form. Turns out he just was carrying an ankle injury. You know, he was struggling with it and said he didn't feel the same. I mean, the last 3 games have proved it. He basically looks like that Phil Foden that burst on the scene, that was full of energy, that's like a young kid in the playground that just wants to play football, not frightened to do a trick or two, not frightened to get the ball and drive at defenders. And that first goal was all him, you know what I mean? He created it. We'd had an earlier chance before that, I think De Bruyne, had crossed it in and Gundogan had just got a bit underneath it and it looped over the bar. I think Big Erling was putting himself about yesterday. I've got to say that he didn't score Haaland, but his link-up play is improving. And we forget he's only a young kid. He's come to the Premier League. He's scored. Everyone judges him on goals. But there's room for improvement in Haaland's game. There's room for improvement. He's only going to learn in his first season in the Premier League. He's not the finished article. I know we look at him and think he's Erling Haaland, he's a monster, he's a superstar. He is. But he's still a kid. He's still got things to learn. You look at him yesterday, his little 1-2 layoffs, and he was making the runs. He wasn't getting found. He wasn't getting too frustrated. He was going back to basics. He was pressing. So I think Erling Haaland yesterday, it was one of the best games without him scoring for me. You know what I mean? The link-up play, coming deep. And I don't know if you noticed the altercation. I think Burn went through Jack Grealish, you know, in the second half. Ruben Diaz, straight in there. Let's have it. Rodri, straight in there. Let's have it. Big Erling, come here, you. Bang, gripped him. I know that's not what football's about, but when you've been accused of having a soft side like Man City have this season, When Pep's come out and said Rico Lewis getting kicked around, nobody's protecting him, it was a breath of fresh air. It was a breath of fresh air to see the lads getting stuck in. And I feel like there's a real togetherness now in the team. I feel like the tide has changed. Early in the season, I was on these shows and I was saying, I get this feeling in my chest and it's just not there. I just felt like, we wasn't good enough to win the league. I just felt like this team wasn't good enough to go on a run. But I'm getting that feeling back now. I can see it, especially this tough run of aways and going into this Newcastle game and the way the players are together on the pitch, the way the fans are getting going again. I think we're getting a bit of momentum going. You know what I mean? So we went in at 1-0, but we needed a goal. I was talking to lads at half-time saying, look, this is another Forest, or another Villa away where we have all the possession, we get an early goal, we need to finish them off. And the second half, it looked like that for a little bit. Newcastle started to get into the game a little bit. They had one or two chances where, if Callum Wilson or Joe Linton had have had the shooting boots on, we could have been punished. They didn't really trouble Ederson, but they were huffing and puffing. And just let me touch on Ederson, yeah? First of all, let me congratulate Ederson on 100 clean sheets in the Premier League. That is an amazing achievement from him, and he deserved it. But yesterday, Ederson's kicking, I think that was the worst I've ever seen him kick in a game. Every single kick went out for a throw-in. And that's usually the part of his game we can't criticise. He usually does something stupid and we have a moan saying he should have saved it. But yesterday, no, his kicking was poor. And I think he'd admit that. It was very, very poor. He redeemed himself, shall we say, in the last few minutes with a Kieran Trippier free kick, low, over the wall and low down to his left. And Ederson got down and saved it. The whistle went after that and he got his clean sheet record. So, and the players all ran to him and patted him on the back and that. For a goalkeeper, it's a big achievement. So I've got to respect Ederson and I love Ederson for what he does. But yesterday he's kicking, I don't know whether his feet were cold because he had fuck all to do or something, or I don't know, but he's kicking. Yesterday was poor. So early in the second half, Newcastle were having a go. You know what I mean? They were having a go. They were coming down at us. That St. Maximin came on. He's always an handful. I spoke about it on the match preview. He was a bit. Kyle Walker had to be on him a few times. Isaac came on. He looked a lot sharper to me than Callum Wilson. He created a chance down the side where he rolled Akanji on the touchline. He got through. There was a couple of ricochets in there. Joe Linton missed one, ball across the middle. All he had to do was tap it in, missed it. And I thought Newcastle then was starting to get a little bit on top until the substitution. Pep Guardiola, we thought we were in for one of them games where he ain't going to change it. He takes off Kevin De Bruyne. Now, Kevin had a fantastic game at Bristol. He did. He ran the show. Yesterday, he looked a little frustrated. Early doors, a couple of really easy passes didn't come off. A couple of extravagant passes didn't come off. He was looking a little bit frustrated. So he got subbed off. He didn't look happy, which I don't expect him to be. He's Kevin De Bruyne. So, there's no news there. People trying to make him out of a molehill. It's not happening. We won, so he's happy. He brought on Bernardo, the energy. And straight from the first second he got on the pitch, he was off. It was like a puppy in your kitchen chasing a ball. He was running around like mad. And then we got our rewards. I think Nathan Aki broke up their play down the left. He poked it into Gundogan, who did a quick one to Jack Grealish, who again, Jack Grealish was outstanding yesterday. He drove towards the box, got crowded out, lays it into Erling. Now, big Erling, yeah, he could have took a touch there, tried to swivel and shoot. He didn't. He was aware of what was around him. Little flick into Bernardo. Bernardo on the stretch. Bang. 2-0. Killed Newcastle flat. Lifted us to the rooftops. Killed them flat. We needed that goal. So bad we needed that goal. Bernardo Silva, there's a lot of talk in Manchester he's going to leave, and 99% certain he probably is. But I love the guy. I just love him. I think he's brilliant. Left back, DM, attacking mid, wide right, wide left, kit man, physio. He can do the lot. Bernardo Silva can do the lot. He's a legend. And like you say, he come on there at a perfect time and he put the final dagger in Newcastle, killed them stone dead. And then that was it then. City were cruising. We fucked about with it in the corner, big Erling in the corner, flicking it off them, winding them up. We got the points. And we needed it. I came out of there and I felt good. I felt like we're onto something. I felt like the players are now finally starting to get the rhythm. And all season, last season, I was telling everybody about this rhythm. You don't win titles without rhythm, yeah? And we've got the rhythm. Arsenal have had the momentum for a while. You know, they keep plugging away. That's fine. But we've got to get our rhythm. And we're well and truly in this title race now. I said if we can keep on the coattails to the last 10 games, that is the business end of this title race. We've been through it. You know, it's nothing new. We ain't going to get excited. If we drop points, we're not going to get excited. If Arsenal drop points, we're not going to get excited because nothing's over yet. There's no point in getting excited now. We've just got to do what we do. We've just got to go out there and win our games. If we go out there and win our games, I know that they will slip up. I know they will. Yeah. Yesterday, Arsenal 2-0 down to Bournemouth at home. Yeah. They won 3-2, 99th minute, whatever it is. Great. Fair play. You keep going to the end. That's a sign of champions. We've done that many a time. But that can only paper over so many cracks. Yeah. You look at your last, 10 games. You've lost to Everton. You drew to Brentford. You've been beaten off Manchester City twice. Yeah? You scored in the last minute against Aston Villa, come off the bar, hit the goalkeeper on the head and went in. Yesterday, you were 2-0 down to Bournemouth at home. And you won 3-2, last minute again. So, yeah, you're getting the wins. And if you win the league, you look back at them wins and say, that is what won us the title. That's what happens. But let's not pretend it's rosy in the garden at Arsenal. Let's not pretend that the Arsenal are ploughing through teams because they're not. And all I'm going to say is there's a long, windy road up ahead. And I said it on my interview. There's a big blue shark behind you. And they laughed. And every time they win now, they message me, where's the shark? Where's the shark? We'll see where the shark is at the end of the season. Yeah? We'll see where the shark is at the end of the season. I seen one fool on AFTV today saying Manchester City don't have that weak fight to the end. I thought, is he pissed him? Or is he on drugs? The drugs must be good in North London. Because, believe it or not, we were 2-0 down to Aston Villa last game of the season to win the title. And we came back and won. And the QPR moment against with Sergio Aguero to win the league again. We came back and won. So don't be telling Manchester City fans that we haven't got what you've got because you scored a last-minute winner against Bournemouth when you were 2-0 down against Bournemouth, by the way. Bournemouth, who we flattened last week on their own patch. You know what I mean? But listen, they're very giddy fan base. They're very excitable. And let them be excited. We've just got to relax. We've just got to calm down. Don't get drawn into these online arguments with Arsenal fans because they're up and down like yo-yos. If he was outside the Emirates only 2 weeks ago, they were crying and saying the title was over. They were all beat. They were dejected. They'd thrown the towel in. Yeah? Roll it back to this week now. Manchester City can't do what they do, and they're going to win the league. That's great. But they're up and down more times than a yo-yo. You know what I mean? They need to calm down. But let them go. My message to all City fans is let them go. We just concentrate on what we're doing. Just concentrate on what Manchester City are doing. We just got to go every game now and get the points. If we do that, I guarantee you we win the league. We will win the league. We've got to win every single game. We've got tough trips coming up. Brighton, Palace, Brentford. You know, we've got Liverpool, Chelsea. So it's not easy for us. We've just got to make sure we're on it. But looking at the squad now, looking at the way we're playing, looking at the momentum, the rhythm, looking at the way we're creating more and more chances, you know, it's looking good. So my message to everyone is just relax. Yeah, we're there or thereabouts. We keep plugging away, keep fighting along the way. And I think we're going to get there. it was good to see a lot of people at the Etihad yesterday. A lot of people came up to me and were saying they enjoyed my videos and sticking up for City online and that. I appreciate that. I always do. We've got Crystal Palace next week. I'm not going to the game. I hate Crystal Palace with a passion. I'm actually going away for the weekend to recharge my batteries, ready for the running, because I'll sacrifice Crystal Palace for a little bit of sun. So I'll do a preview this week. I'm trying to get John Salako on, see if we can do a Palace preview. I'll be watching the game somewhere in Spain, nice and chilled out, relaxed, hoping we get the win. And yeah, the giveaway on my channel this week, I did Erling Haaland shirt. That'll be posted out to the winner. It was Caroline Walton, I think. So she's been in touch. She's going to get that. 15k subs on YouTube. I think we might have to do a competition for the YouTube followers. So keep your eyes peeled on the stories. And just a quick one. If anyone watched the City Extra show on Friday night, I apologise for laughing my bollocks off because the chat was moving crazy. That's all I'm going to say. Watch the stream. And once you get something in your mind and you're on camera and you can't get it out your head, there's no coming back. I couldn't hold the laughter in. I had to turn my camera off twice. I've never, ever done that in my life. But watch the City Extra show on Friday. Honestly, it's worth it. But listen, people, it was a good day at the office. Another good, well-earned 3 points at home against a good Newcastle team. You know, we're starting to get the momentum and we're moving forward. Everybody have a great week at work, school, whatever you're doing. You know, take it easy out there and roll on the next game. Come on, City. Come on.